be a screw, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to Cypherfics. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the fourth part of, What If Danny Phantom Meets Hazbinhotel? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. The GAV pulled up to Vlad's mansion in Wisconsin the following day. The Fenton family walks up the front steps as Vlad steps out to greet them. Jack, and Maddie. You've never looked lovelier, my dear. Vlad said smiling. Vladdy, my man. It's good to. Jack started to say before a limo pulled up. Everyone watched as Lucifer-Morningstar and his daughter Charlie stepped out, surprising them. Charlie? Danny asked, surprised to see his friend. Hi. Danny. Turns about my dad wanting to join the reunion. Charlie said, blushing. Danny looked ready to say something before a car pulled in, showing Sarah and Emily stepping out. Emily? They shouted, shocked to see her. Hey, Danny, Charlie. Surprised? She said, sheepishly. Lucy. Sarah. What are you two doing here? Jack asked, surprised to see them. I used to be in business with Vlad Masters before. Until my wife and I discover he was going to screw us over. Lucifer said, glaring at the man. I heard of Vlad Masters and wanted to meet him, Sarah said, already sensing that he couldn't be trusted. And who are they? Vlad asked. My daughter, Charlotte, Lucifer said, still glaring at him. And this Emily. She belongs to a friend I promised to watch over. Sarah said. Wow, sounds like this Vlad guy really isn't well like with Dad and Sarah, Charlie said. Remind me to tell you what my dad told me during our trip here, Danny told them. Anyway, come in. Come in. Vlad said, letting everyone but Jack in his mansion. As they walked, they noticed that Vlad's main hall had a lot of football stuff. What's with the green and gold? You're a billionaire. Surely you could afford an interior designer. Jazz asked Vlad. Jazz, hello. Football helmets, jerseys, cheeseheads. He's a Packers fanatic. Danny told her with the girls nodding in agreement. Oh, fanatic is such a negative word. But, yes. Vlad agreed. I don't understand. You have billions of dollars. Instead of buying this stuff, why don't you just buy the team? Jazz asked him. Because the Packers are owned by the city of Green Bay and they won't sell them to me. Vlad said irritated, making everyone look at him. Once Vlad noticed he was next to Maddie, he calmed down. One of two things my wealth has not as of yet been able to acquire, Vlad said, chuckling. Is he hitting on Mom? Danny asked Jazz. As long as he's got working toilets and Mom says no, who cares? Jazz said and walked away. Jazz, that's not how you should act seeing a man hitting on a married woman. Which said married woman is your mom? Emily told her. And he's making her uncomfortable, Charlie said, seeing Maddie rush off. Lucifer and Sarah looked at each other, shaking their heads. They thought something was up when he didn't let Jack through the door. Danny noticed a football and it was signed as well. Whoa, cool. Danny said, making Vlad walk over to him. Indeed. This ball was autographed by the legendary Ray Nitschke himself. It's my prized possession. Vlad said, picking up the ball and hugging it on his face. Heads up, V-Man. Jack shouted and tackled Vlad. Ha! I see you've still got the old moves. Jack smiled as he stood up with the football. Give me that. Vlad shouted, taking the ball and putting it back. I never had any old moves. All those years in the hospital robbed me of that. Vlad shouted again. Everyone looked shocked at his outburst before Vlad collected himself. Yes. Well, it gave me time to chart out a course for my life, didn't it? Made some decisions that helped to make me very wealthy, very quickly. And it never would have happened without you, Jack. Vlad said and placed his arm around Jack's neck. Yeah, maybe we should go, Maddie said, getting uncomfortable again. The three heard her tone and had a feeling something was up. Lucifer and Sarah already figured it out, shaking their heads. That's why he invited the Fentons. He was trying to win Maddie away from her family. No, you should stay with me. That's the whole reason I'm throwing the reunion here in my castle, previously home to the legendary Wisconsin Dairy King. Just so I could reconnect with you, Jack. I insist you stay. Vlad said. Well, I don't know. We do have a really cool RV. Jack said, thinking. Let's stay here. Jazz fake coughs. Smooth, Danny told his sister. Charlie and Emily rolled their eyes. You know, Jack, the Dairy King's ghost could haunt these very halls. Vlad told him. No sooner than Jack heard the word ghost, he shouted, I'll get the bags, and ran out to get them. And he wonders why we made them close the portal more often, Sarah said, shaking her head. So, Mr. Morningstar, is this your new wife? Vlad asked. Sarah looked shocked before Luckfear corrected him. No. She's a friend. My daughter is friends with Emily, so we have met a few times. He said, surprising her. Oh. Then what about your wife? Vlad asked. We spilt a couple of years ago, Lucifer said, looking away. Sarah knew he didn't like the deal he was under with Heaven. But they said it was for the best. However, she was having second thoughts about that. And you, my dear? Vlad asked her. Single and not interested, Sarah said, surprising Vlad. I wasn't asking about that. He said. Sarah rolled her eyes. Already knowing who he was pinning for. Jack returned with everyone's bags before Vlad showed them to their rooms. Later that night. Everyone was sleeping in their own rooms when Jack shot up. Bathroom. He said and got out of bed. As Jack walked down the hallway, looking for the bathroom, he didn't notice that he was being followed by the three vulture ghosts. They follow Jack around the corner when he mysteriously disappears. Hey, what gives? One of the vultures asked shocked. Hi, guys. Remember us? A voice said behind them. They turned around and saw Danny, Charlie, and Emily in their hero forms. They agreed to look around the mansion after everyone went to sleep, and during their trip, Danny's ghost sense appeared. They saw that they were following his dad, and Danny helped him to the bathroom. Now they stood in front of the vultures, ready to fight them off. Only for them to scream and fly away, confusing them. What was that about? Charlie asked, lost. They didn't do that before, Emily added. That was almost too easy. Danny agreed. Bright kids. A voice said behind them. They turned around and saw what looked to be a mix of a vampire and a ghost behind them. All three jumped away, standing ready again. My vultures were supposed to bring the big idiot to me, but you'll do. Danny Phantom, Charlotte Magna, and Serenity, right? It asked. Charlie and Emily gave themselves new names after getting a little tired of going by Angel and Demon. Charlie couldn't shake that she heard the name Magna somewhere before. But they didn't have time to think about that. You know us? Danny asked. Of course, I know you. It said and phased through the wall. Danny took Charlie's and Emily's hands and also phases through the wall. They saw the ghost floating in what looked to be a library. They stood ready, unsure about this ghost. The three protectors, right? It asked. We're working on the name, Charlie said. You three are clearly more powerful than you look. Each of you could easily have the world bow to you. And yet you waste it on children's plays. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't demons not supposed to care about humans? Or team up with angels? It said. Charlie did know that, but she also knew she was no demon. Plus, Emily was her friend. Look, we don't want to fight you. Maybe. Danny started. How touching. Tell me, young man, can you do this? The ghost asked before spitting into four. No, I can't. How are you doing all this? Danny asked, surprised. Years of practice, which you, unfortunately, have no time for. The four ghosts said and started to attack them. They quickly split up, Charlie and Emily taking on one clone each, leaving Danny with two. Charlie and Emily fought their clones as Danny struggled with his two. It became clear that this question was a lot more powerful than he looked. Danny was thrown into Charlie and Emily, causing all three to phase through the wall and land back in the hallway. Charlie dropping her apple as they did. The ghost floated through the wall seeing the three on the ground. He was shocked to see them transform back into their human forms. Danny Phantom is Jack Fenton's son? He said, not seeing a hand picking up the apple. And Charlotte Magna is Charliemorningstar. And Serenity is Emily Seraphim. He turns to see Lucifer and Sarah stepping up, both of them glaring at him. Nice look, Vlad, Lucifer said, surprising him. And don't think we're going to let you harm the children, Sarah added, turning into her true form. Lucifer bit into the apple before also becoming his true self. The two walked up, knowing they were far more powerful than Vlad. He backed away, shocked to see them transform. Lucifer, can you take Daniel back to his room? Sarah said, picking up Emily. Sure. He said, picking up Charlie and Danny. We'll say this once, Vlad, Lucifer said, glaring at him. Stay away from them. He and Sarah said, walking away. Vlad watched them leave before smirking. He soon turns back into his human form, thinking of ways he could use the three. Forgetting all about the warning he was given. Well, what do you know? Danny shot up from his bed, completely shocked and confused. Was that all a dream? Huh? Where am I? What happened? Danny asked, confused. I was going to ask you the same question, young man, Vlad said as he appeared at the door. Where's Charlie and Emily? Danny asked, looking around. Still in their rooms, Vlad told him. I must have been worn out from the long car trip. I'll be okay in the morning. I'm sorry for the scare. Danny said, taking a breath. He was going to ask Charlie and Emily if they knew anything in the morning. Oh, what's a little scare between friends, son, Sleep tight, little badger. Vlad said and walked out of the room. Little did he know, his shadow didn't follow him before a wild smile appeared on it. Oh, things are becoming more interesting. It said, looking more like a deer before it disappeared. The next night. Danny joined the reunion after learning that Jazz had no plans to enter it herself. He didn't get what was up with his sisters and decided to enjoy the reunion as much as he could. Hey, Danny. He turned and saw Charlie and Emily, shocking him. Charlie was wearing a red and white dress with a crown and fake thorns below her shoulders. She looked very much like a princess. Emily was wearing a blue and white dress with gloves that reached her elbows. Both girls looked appealing. Charlie, Emily. Wow. He said, shocked. The two girls laughed, knowing he was speechless. Care to dance with a few pretty girls? Charlie asked, smiling. Danny blushed. Vaggie isn't here, so I wouldn't mind a dance from you. She told him as Emily played along. You were a great dancer at B's party. I would love to dance with you. She added. I. Danny tried to say. Chill, Danny. Charlie laughs. We're messing with you. Emily also laughs. Well, you girls are pretty, nice. Danny shuddered, making them laugh more. Soon, Jack stepped up dragging along a woman they never met. Danny, meet Harriet Chin. She's a big-shot reporter for the Milwaukee Journal now, but back in my college days, she was just Harry. Harry Chin. Ha. Get it? Jack laughed. I'm really sorry, Harriet, Maddie said to her. Sweetie, you married him. You should be. Harriet told her and both women smiled. Soon the song changed and Jack jumped up, excited. Hey, my song. Come on, let's pogo. Jack said grabbing Maddie and running through the crowd. Okay, I'm officially mortified, Danny said seeing his dad do the pogo. What took so long? Harriet asked him and walked away. You're not alone, Charlie said, watching her dad do the same. Sarah was shocked again when someone told her that they thought her husband was weird. He's not my husband. She shouted. Danny then felt a hand on his shoulder and saw Vlad Master standing behind him. Well, son, you're looking much better. I was wondering, if you two could do me a huge favor. Vlad said and asked. Oh, sure, Mr. Masters. But call me Danny. Son, is what my dad calls me, Danny told him. Oh, yes, of course. Now, could you go to my lab, the second door on the right upstairs? There's a present in there for your father that I'd like you to bring down. Vlad said, then explained. Okay, Danny said, heading upstairs. Mind if we go with him? Charlie asked. We might help find it faster with the three of us, Emily explained. Very well. Vlad smiles watching the girls walk away. Vlad smirks and turns to see Maddie watching Jack pogoing. Maddie. That lab accident cost me my youthful chance at you, but that's all about to change. Vlad said to himself. Lab. The three entered the lab and looked around. Present? I don't see a present. Danny said. It got to be here somewhere, Charlie said. Let's look around, Emily added before the three spilt it up. Danny sees and picks up a framed picture of college-aged Vlad and Maddie on a table with the top right corner torn off. In fact, it looks like the third person looks just like. Hey! Wait a minute, Danny said and pulled out the picture that had his dad's face. He placed it in the spot and saw it fit perfectly. Danny's eyes widened. Oh, no. No way. Danny said. Girls. There is no present. It was Vlad. Vlad has sent a vulture ghost to kill my dad. Danny shouted, shocking them. What? Charlie shouted. But he's your dad's college friend. Why would he want to kill him? Emily asked, confused. Danny looked ready to go ghost as Charlie pulled out her apple. Emily had her headband float above her before it and the apple was snatched away from them as a box covered Danny. And he's not alone, whelps. They all turned and saw a ghost they fought in the past. Skulker. How did you get back on your echo suit? And what are you doing here? Danny asked, shocked. Without their items, Charlie and Emily could not fight Skulker as he could easily avoid them. Danny discovered that the box he was trapped in prevented him from using his powers. Suddenly, a long blade appeared out of Skulker's arm, shocking the three. Hee, the blade is new, Danny said, nervous. You like it? I had some upgrades. Skulker said, cheerfully. Now, he said, getting ready to take his prize. Charlie and Emily looked ready to stop him without their powers before a voice was heard. Enough. They all turned and saw Vlad Masters at the doorway. I didn't free you to kill the boy, skulker. Your work is done. He told the hunter, taking the headband and apple. Yes, well, I've gotta go to the library and check out a book on a gorilla. Again. Skulker groaned, wondering why he never took that PDA off as he flew away. What's going on? I don't understand. Danny said. That makes 2 of us, Charlie added. Make that 3. Emily threw in. You're, what, 14? Too young to drive and not in college yet. I sent those ghosts, and others, to test your father's skills. Imagine my surprise when I find you, the second ghost hybrid his foolishness created. He said, confusing the 3. Second? They asked. Vlad smirks before transforming into his ghost form, shocking them. You. I'm going ghost. Danny cried out, but nothing happened. Going ghost. Danny said, again but remained human. Why can't I go ghost? He asked, confusing Charlie and Emily. You have a battle cry, hilarious. I, on the other hand, have this. Vlad laughs before tapping the box. A spectral energy neutralizer. Designed by Skulker, paid for by me. And as long as you're contained within that box you're as human as your idiot father, he said, before showing the headband and apple. And without these, you 2 stand no chance. He added. How did you find out about them? Charlie asked, waiting for the apple to appear in her pocket. I have my ways, my dear, Vlad smirks. Let me out of here. Danny shouted, struggling to break free. Charlie and Emily ran over to help him as Vlad smirked. Why? So you can go back to stumbling through your adolescence, desperately trying to get control of your powers. Powers, by the way, that I've had for 20 years. He said, showing some of his powers. I have experience, my child. And the money and power attained through using those powers for personal gain, you see. I could train you, teach you everything I know. And all you'd have to do is renounce your idiot father. Vlad told them. All 3 of them glare at him as Danny rolls his eyes. Dude, you are one seriously crazed up Fruit Loop. That is never going to happen. He said, making the girls laugh. Yes, well, once your father is out of the way, we'll see how you'll feel. Vlad laughs, tossing the apple and headband into a lockbox before flying away. We got to stop him. Charlie said, reaching into her dress for her apple. But we don't know how to unlock this. Emily said, looking over it. Well, gosh and golly, it looks like you could use a speck of help there, don't you know? The 3 looked up and saw a ghost float down. Hey, you're the Dairy King. Oh, great. What are you gonna do? Suffocate me with Limburger? Strangle me with Swiss? Or dash, Danny said before it hit a button to free Danny and allow Charlie and Emily to have their items back. Let us go. Well, thank you. But, why? Charlie asked. Well, not all ghosts are evil, right? Some of us just want to be left alone there, don't you know? The Dairy King ghost told them. He's right. We did end some fights without fighting the ghosts. Emily said. Jack. Oh no, Dad. Danny said, turning into his ghost form. Charlie bit into her apple as Emily let her headband turn into a halo. They stood in their other forms, surprising the Dairy King. Thanks again, for the help, Charlie said as she took Danny's arm. We got to stop Vlad. Emily added as they flew through the lab. The Trinity. The Dairy King said, surprised. Well, that's something new, don't you know? He said, smiling. At the reunion. Vlad had overshadowed Jack, forcing him to start attacking everyone. He also tried to get Jack to turn on Maddie, but his willpower was stronger than her thought. However, Jack couldn't fight for long and Vlad made him do all kinds of things. If you live to tell the tale, remember that big, fat Jack Fenton did this to you. Vlad said through Jack's mouth. Guess again, cheesehead. Vlad turns Jack around, seeing Danny phase into his father and force Vlad out. Emily and Charlie quickly check on him. Are you okay, Mr. Fenton? Emily asked as they helped him to his feet. Ugh, why do I feel like I was beating everyone up? He asked before shaking his head. No one uses Jack Fenton as a human meat puppet. He declares. Leave him to us, Charlie said, stopping him. We can handle him. This time. Emily said, whispering the last part to herself. With that, the two chase after Danny and Vlad, knowing they have to stop him. With Danny and Vlad. Danny was trying to fight Vlad, but he wasn't having much luck. Vlad kicked him away before speaking. Daniel, stop. Think about the things I could show you. The doors I could open for you. You, Danny Phantom, and I, Vlad Plasmius. Together we could rule. He told him. Forget it, pal. Your money can't buy my mom, it can't buy the Packers, and it can't buy me. Danny told him as Charlie and Emily appeared next to him. And we'll be damned if we let our hard work get thrown out the window. Charlie said. So you can take your offer and shove it up your butt. Emily shouted, shocking her friends. What? She asked, confused. Suddenly, the RV burst through the wall, showing Jack at the wheel. I told him we can handle it. Emily groans. Remember how I said that my dad doesn't listen at times? Danny told her. They all dodged the RV, making Charlie wonder why he was trying to run over everyone. He still refuses to believe that Emily and I are not ghosts. She said, putting it together. Ow. Don't run over people, Jack. And Sarah is with them, Emily said, shaking her head. Mind if I cut in? They all looked up and saw Vlad reach into the RV and pull Maddie out. Let go of me. She shouted. Never again, woman, Vlad said, starting to fly away with her. Danny. Throw me. Charlie said, reaching her hand out. Danny took it and spun around. He threw Charlie at Vlad, making her snatch Maddie away from her. What the? Vlad shouted before Emily slammed both of her feet onto his back. Charlie landed on her feet before setting the confused Maddie down. Charlie then ran up towards Vlad before she kicked him in the face. Vlad was set flying before Danny fell backward and kicked both of his feet up, knocking Vlad into the air. Charlie and Emily floated in the air before they both threw a punch to knock him back to the floor. The three landed as Vlad coughs. It appears these three were tougher than he thought. Impressed by, children. But this battle is far from over. Vlad said before Danny got an idea. We know who you are. We'll tell my father. We'll tell everyone. Danny said, walking up to Vlad. And so will I, honestly, if you expose me, you expose yourself. Vlad said, not believing him. Listen, we could easily expose each other right here and now unless you call a truce, Danny told him. You're bluffing, Vlad said. No, I'm not. Our parents will accept me, no matter what. But if we expose you, well, what would my mom think of you? Danny told him, making Charlie and Emily catch on. Yeah. We can easily tell them everything. They will know that we used our powers for the good of humanity. Emily said. You, on the other hand, will be miserable and alone for the rest of your life. Unless you call a truce. Charlie added. Vlad looked at the three, surprised at their boldness. He saw their point and smiled. Using your opponent's weaknesses against him. I am teaching you something after all. Very well. Truce. Eventually, you will. Join me by choice. You and your mother. But for now. He said, getting glares from them. Curse you, heroes. You have defended me. But I will return. Until next time, children. He said, disappearing into mist. He's been watching way too many cartoons, Charlie said, rolling her eyes. Said the girl that watches spy heroes every Saturday. Emily giggles. Hey. It's a good show. Charlie shouted, pouting. Danny and Emily smiled before Jack and Maddie aimed their weapons at them. CRP, Charlie swore. We forgot about them, Emily said. Before they could fire, Lucifer and Sarah pushed the weapons away. Did you two forget that they saved you from that ghost? Sarah asked. And blasting them will not change anything. Lucifer added. But, they're ghosts, Jack said. That does it. Sarah said, pulling out her phone. I thought she said she didn't bring it, Emily said, shocked. Yeah, it's me. Put it in action. She said, confusing everyone. Yes, they tried to blast them after being saved, Sarah added. She was quiet for a bit before speaking again. They have closed the portal for now. But we need to make sure they stop jumping to conclusions at first chance. She said, listening to the voice. Don't give me that. Do what I told you. She shouted, making everyone jump. I forgot that not everyone agrees with her. Emily sighed, knowing who she was arguing with. Good. Thank you. She said, hanging up. Excuse me, Miss Seraphim, but what did you do? Charlie asked. We know who you three are. Let's just say that the Fentons won't be chasing after you unless they have a solid good reason to do so. Sarah said, glaring at them. We warned you, Lucifer said, shrugging. If you don't mind, we're taking the kids with us. And Harriet? Sarah said before turning to the woman. She handed her a job offer, knowing she was going to be fired once she tried to post her story. Feel free to come in, any time. She said, smiling. Thank you. Harriet said, confused. Everyone turned to see that the three had left, making Lucifer smile. We have to tell them at some point. He whispers to Sarah. She nods before looking at the Fentons again. Jack, Maddie, you can't just go around and say they are ghosts without looking at the facts. And you need to stop thinking everything is the work of a ghost. She said before turning away. There's a difference between ghosts, demons, and angels. She added, walking away. Now, if you excuse us, Lucifer said, following her. Jack and Maddie just stood there, confused. Dad, why are we here? I understand this not what you hoped for, my owlettle, but staying there is too much. The Queen is doing her best, but I do fear for your safety. Two people sat in a car, the man turning to his goth daughter. They had made plans to move for a while. And Earth seems like the best choice. If I recall, this town is where that ghost boy lives. The man said, smiling. Dad. I'm just a fan. He's been hanging around two other girls. The girl said, groaning. Not what I saw on your phone, he said, pointing to the image of the ghost boy. The girl hid her phone away, blushing a bit. Sure, he was cute, but he wasn't her type. Still, she liked how cool and heroic he was and was even friends with a demon and an angel, something unheard of in today's age. The town has been calling the three of the protectors, but they said they were working on the name. It is a rather shame that the Seven Deadly Sins circus closed down. I enjoyed that show when I was your age. The man said, sighed. Dad, you told me that story a bunch of times. The girl said. Forgive me, Octavia. Sometimes I can't help but think of the past. He said, making her sigh. Octavia Goetia was the sole heir to her family. Her parents were on the verge of breaking up. It scared her, but she hid away from them. Still, she did like spending time with her father. Her father said, noticing a mansion. "What's up, Dad?" she asked. "There. Is that?" he said, shocked. Sure enough, they spotted Lucifer and Charlie exiting the mansion, Lucifer handing Charlie her bag and lunch. "Is that the king?" Octavia asked, surprised. "It is. I didn't know he was here," her father said. "And I can see you." They both flinched as they saw Lucifer looking over at them. They stopped before getting out. "Lucifer. I'm surprised to see you here." "Calm yourself, Stolas. It's great to see my favorite visitor." Lucifer chuckles. "Dad?" Charlie asked. "I've known Stolas since he was a child. He would come to my circus each time I threw one. He was my #1 fan." Lucifer smiles. "Well, your shows did wow everyone back there." Stolas chuckles. "I also recall you saying that you wanted to join my circus once you were older." Lucifer laughs. "I didn't know that," Octavia said, looking at her father. "It was a long time ago, Via. I was rebellious when I was at your age. Until my father forced me to end it." Stolas said. "And who's she?" Octavia asked, pointing at Charlie. "Ah, this is my daughter, Charliemorningstar," Lucifer said, smiling. "Just call me Charlie," she said, rolling her eyes, smiling. "And who is this?" Lucifer asked. "Ha, this is my daughter, Octavia," Stolas said. "Are you a goth?" Charlie asked. "Why? Got a problem with that?" Octavia asked, glaring. "Octavia," Stolas said, worried. "Not with you. But with another goth." Charlie sighs. "Huh?" Octavia asked, confused. "Are you sure we can pass it?" Charlie asked her dad. "Not unless she does something very dangerous. However, she is to follow the things that can be passed. So, if you asked her to leave, she must leave or she will get in trouble for harassing you and your friends." Lucifer said. "Better than nothing." Charlie sighs, kissing his cheek. "Got to go. See you later, Dad," Charlie said, running off. "Ah, they grow up so fast." Lucifer smiles. "Where is she going?" Octavia asked. "School," Lucifer said, surprising them. "School?" she asked. "Casper High, later." Charlie walked down the hall, bringing the paper that would allow her, Emily, and Danny to share classes. However, it wasn't long before she heard shouting. "I refuse to let my daughter come here. Mrs. Goetia." "I said no." Charlie blinks before seeing a woman arguing with the principal. She blinks before walking up to them. "Is everything okay, Principal Ishiyama?" she asked, making the two turn to her. "Yes, Ms. Morningstar. Just dealing with a parent," she said, sighing. "Morningstar?" the woman asked, confused. "I got a call from Mr. Stolas Goetia asking me about our school. The next thing I knew, Mrs. Stella Goetia appeared, telling me that she refused to let her daughter come here." Principal Ishiyama added. "Who is this?" Stella asked. "Charlotte Morningstar. She's the daughter of Lucifer Morningstar." Principal Ishiyama explains. Stella looks at her before sighing. "Very well. I will let my daughter come here," she said, surprising the principal. Stella looked at Charlie before she walked past her. Charlie could sense something was off about that woman before turning back to the principal. "By the way, here's the new class that we want to be in," she said, handing her the paper. As Principal Ishiyama looked it over, Charlie looked down the hall she saw Stella in. There's something off about that woman. Later, lunchtime. "Really?" Emily asked, once Charlie told them everything. "All it took was your name and she stopped fighting." Danny asked. Yeah, it was weird. I know my dad is well known for circus, but this family treats him like a king for some reason. Charlie said. Confused. I do hope that we don't have another Sam, Emily said, sighing. Or another Helsa, Danny added. What did she do? Charlie growls. Just waved at me, Danny said, making Charlie angrier. Relax, I followed your advice. I didn't return it. Through, I can shake something is up with her. Danny said, making Charlie calm down. So, is she? Emily asked. Not from what I saw. Didn't have a lot of chance to talk to her. Didn't want to be late. Charlie said, sighing. Danny nodded and went to take a bite of his sandwich before spotting a red dot traveling up Charlie's face. Chowry! Danny shouted, jumping over the table and pushing her to the ground as a gunshot rang out. Everyone started screaming and running as Emily checked on her friends. Daniel! Charlie! She said, seeing Danny covering Charlie. We're okay, Charlie said, making him get off her. What was that? Emily asked. Sorry, I saw the red light and acted. You can blame Skulker for that. Danny said. Well, I heard the gunshot, Emily said before sensing something. She looked over and saw the bullet and yet, there was something off about it. Emily? Danny asked, snapping her out of it. We better get out of here, and stay low, Charlie said, confused about why someone was trying to kill her. Who dares try to shoot my little apple? Lucifer roars, once he hears everything that happened. Mr. Morningstar. Principal Ishiyama started. When I find them they are going to wish that the cops find them first. Lucifer shouted, not hearing her. Dad! I'm fine. Danny saved me. Charlie said, trying to calm her father down. And I'm very grateful for that. I plan on rewarding that boy. And before you say he didn't do it to be rewarded, I'm going to reward him anyway. Lucifer said, making Charlie sigh. I'll let him know. She said, shaking her head. Lucifer nods, knowing that Lilith will be as furious as himself once she hears about this. Deal or not, no one harms their daughter. We are looking into it, until then. We are closing the school early. Principal Ishiyama said. Thank you. Come, Charlie. I think your friends are waiting for you. Lucifer said, leading her out of the school. Charlie. Danny cried out, seeing them. Is everything okay? Emily asked. Besides my dad getting pissed, he hasn't hurt anyone, yet, Charlie said. Yeah, I never saw Sarah so scared when she was informed about the shooting, Emily said, knowing she had an important meeting to deal with. The minute she was informed, Sarah dropped everything and rushed to make sure she was all right. Once she heard Charlie was the target, she agreed to help find the one responsible and punish them. I'm wondering whose was after Charlie. Danny said, thinking. As much as I hate Sam, there is no way she would do this, Emily said, ruling her out. Agreed, Charlie said. Helsa wouldn't do this, Danny said, shaking his head. I hate that girl, but even she wouldn't hire someone to kill me. Charlie agreed. Maybe it's someone new. Emily asked. No one knew for sure. However, Danny did remember something else. How's Vaggie? He asked, knowing how close they were. Charlie sighs. Much like her father, Vaggie was furious when she heard that Charlie was the target. Though she did seem surprised to learn that Danny saved her. Blowing off steam. She said, sighing. Yikes. Her friend said. And here I thought things would be boring. The three turned and saw Octavia walking up, surprising them. Of course, there is nothing cool about being shot at. She quickly added. Is this girl? Danny asked. Yep. Charlie nods. Hey, Octavia said, a little nervous. Octavia, right? Charlie told us about you. Emily said. Yeah, and who are you two? She asked. I'm Danny, and this is Emily. Forgive us if we don't look friendly right now. Danny said, seeing she did look like a goth. We have another goth to deal with and right now, we have a hard time liking them, Emily added. Well, I can assure you that I'm different. I'm still surprised there was a shooting. Octavia said. Guys, chill. She just came here, remember? Charlie said, understanding their reasons. We know. They said. So, my dad decided to stay here. I was hoping to see the town, but... Octavia started. Well, I guess a tour won't hurt, Emily said, thinking. It's better we give her a chance. Danny agreed. Octavia smiles. She could sense that they had a bit of trouble trusting her, but they did seem nice enough. Maybe I should tell Luna about them. She thought. However, someone was watching them from the rooftops, aiming at Charlie. However, when Octavia walked up, he swore and pulled his gun away. DMN it. So much for the second chance. He said, getting up. He was quite surprised to learn that he had a second target and it was none other than charliemorningstar. A far bigger prize than his other target. He was offered a bigger prize if he took her out as well. Killing the daughter of the king and queen of hell. He said, smirking. Talking about getting luck. He laughs. However, he didn't know that he was being watched himself. Michael looked down at the imp, glaring. He knew very well that his brother and sister-in-law would want to punish the one trying to hurt their daughter. While heaven, itself, doesn't seem to care about Charlie, they do agree to leave her alone. Heck, Michael found himself growing to care about his niece as he watched her. It was clear that she took more after her mother. Make your move, imp. Because it will be your last. He said, glaring. The four walked through the town, showing Octavia the places in town. I'm sorry, the nasty burger? She asked, seeing it. Don't let the name fool you. We ate there a few times. It's pretty good. Danny said. We heard a rumor that it was supposed to be called the Tasty Burger, but someone switched the T with an N and never bothered to change it back, Charlie added. Though, that's not where we first met, Danny said. It's not. Octavia asked. Nope. As I mentioned, Charlie and Emily saved my life 2 years ago. I actually met them at the Carefree Cafe. Danny said, pointing to the cafe across the street. Charlie and I go there when we hang out. The owner is still trying to ban Danny just for stealing a loaf of bread. Emily sighs. Even after explaining why he did it in the first place. Charlie groans. Really? All that for a loaf of bread? Octavia asked. The guy really loves his bread, it seems. Danny shrugs. Hey, Danny. Everyone turned and saw Tucker and Vaggie walking up, Vaggie looking much calmer from the way she was walking. Hey, Vaggie, Charlie said before she hugged her. Charlie smiled and returned the hug. After they let go, Vaggie hugged Danny next, surprising him. Thank you. She said, making him smile. Sure. I wasn't about to let one of my best friends get killed. Danny said, returning the hug. So, it's true. Someone tried to shoot you? Tucker asked Charlie. Yeah. You might want to stay away from my dad for a few days, though. He's really pissed. Charlie said. Same with Sarah, Emily added. Who are they? Octavia asked. This is Vaggie, Charlie's girlfriend. And this is my other friend, Tucker. Danny said before seeing what he was about to do. Don't bother, Tucker. I can tell that she's way out of your league. Danny told him. Come on, dude. You're friends with 2 rich girls. Why can't I have that luck? Tucker whines. Danny rolled his eyes. He wasn't friends with them because they were rich. Tuck, they saved my life, remember? Danny said, rolling his eyes. I know. I just can't help but wonder how you get so lucky with the girls. Tucker sighs. You got to be kidding me. Everyone turned and saw Sam, looking completely shocked at what she was seeing. And she? Octavia asked. Sam Manson. The goth we told you about. Emily said, glaring at Sam. The one that made you dislike goths. Octavia asked. What? Sam shouted, shocked. And the one we filed a restraining order against, Charlie added. Which reminds me. She added, turning to Danny and Emily. My dad said unless Sam does something really out there, it wouldn't take full effect. However, she does have to follow some of the things we added. She said, making them nod. What? Sam asked, surprised they actually got a restraining order against her. So, Sam, when we tell you to do something, you have to do it, Charlie said. So, when I say that you need to stop trying to drag me away from Charlie and Emily, you stop and leave it be. Danny added. And you need to get over what you think and pay attention to what you see, Emily said. And if you do anything to break the things we said, then we have the right to call the cops on you for harassing us. They all shouted. Sam blinks. Not believing what she's hearing. Danny, you can't be serious. She said, but Danny glared at her. I am. You have been pushing your luck since I met you. You have done nothing other than try to drag me away from the two girls who saved my life and continue to mistreat them as if they were not like you. Hell, Octavia is a goth and rich, but she has proved to be miles better than you. Danny said. Excuse me. Sam shouted. Wow, she is stubborn, Octavia said, surprised. And that's not the worst she has done. Charlie frowns. Remember all the stories we told you? Emily asked. Yeah. She nodded. Octavia was used to seeing this back in her old home, but it seems that this girl really needs to get a clue. Well, feel free to add yourself to our restraining order if you need to, Charlie added. Why is everyone standing against me? I'm trying to free Danny from. Sam started. Shut up. Danny, Charlie, and Emily shouted at her. You're not trying to free anyone, Sam. Danny said. You're trying to drag a group of friends apart because you can't stand that we're different. Emily added. And that no matter how many times we tell you, we're not like other rich girls. Charlie shouted. So, you have a choice, leave us alone, or face the charges, Danny added. Sam turned to Tucker, thinking he would back her up. However, Tucker shook his head, standing with the group. And don't think I forgot what you said to Charlie. I'm actually getting to know Danny better, and even I can see that he better friends with Charlie and Emily than you. Vaggie added. I just met you and I already don't like you, Octavia added. Sam looked like she was about to blow before spotting Octavia's shirt. And you call yourself a goth? Goths don't wear pink. Sam said. Right. I forget. Sam hates the color pink. Tucker said, shaking his head. I have you know that I picked this shirt out at Stylish Occult back home. I don't care if it's pink. I like this shirt. Octavia shouted, angry that Sam dissed her favorite shirt. Stylish Occult? Danny asked. Yeah, it's a great place when you need to keep up with the latest clothes. Remind me to take you all there sometime. One of my friends goes there too when she's not on the job. She said. You have a friend? Charlie asked since they were still getting to know her. Yeah, her name is Luna, spelled with 2 O's by the way. She's also a goth and goes to Stylish Occult as well. It's how we met and bonded. Octavia said, smiling. Huh, Danny said, surprised. And I can assure you that she's also not like that one. She does have a bit of trouble opening up to people, due to the fact she was abandoned as a child. But she's a nice girl once she does. Octavia said. Yikes, Charlie said, not liking how Octavia's friend was abandoned as a child. However, she was adopted by a prick that my dad has the hots for. Octavia frowns. Wait, is your dad bisexual? Danny asked. I'm not sure. He and my mom have done nothing but fight since was born. She said, shrugging. She remembered that she couldn't tell anyone what she truly was. Something she needs to tell Luna. So, Charlie. How are you holding up? I heard how Danny saved you when that gunshot was heard at school. Tucker asked, shocking Sam. I'm okay. And thanks for reminding me, Tucker. Charlie said before turning to Danny. My dad wants to reward you for saving me, Danny. And I can't talk him out of it. She said, making him sigh. Anything I should be aware of? He asked. When it comes to my dad. Anything. Charlie said, making him nod. Got it, Danny said. Hold on, you jumped in front of a bullet? Sam asked. To save Charlie. Do you really think I would let her or Emily take a bullet? Danny asked, glaring at her. It sounds like you want someone to shoot me, Charlie said, glaring. What? You think I have something to do with that? Sam shouted. No. We know you, Sam. As petty as you are, you would never hire a hitman on us. Emily said. I'm not petty. Sam shouted. You girls, and Guy, want to go somewhere else? Octavia asked, getting tired of Sam. Sure. They said as Tucker looked shocked. Wait, are you inviting me to join you? Tucker asked. Well, you do seem nicer than her. Just don't do anything that would force my dad to hurt you. Though, I am capable of handling myself. She said. Trust me, I learned that the hard way, Tucker said, looking at Charlie and Emily. The two girls smirked. Knowing what he meant. With that, the group walked away, entering the carefree cafe, after Charlie and Emily got the owner to back off from banning Danny again. What is going on? Sam asked, lost. Hell was in an uproar. Lilith heard of how someone was trying to kill her daughter and many demons and sinners was fearful of their lives. Though no one suffers the Queen's wrath, it was noticed that some demons and sinners have heard stories about three beings working together on earth to stop many lost spirits from hurting others. The most bizarre thing they heard was that the three were a ghost, a demon, and an angel. Many passed it off as just stories, not believing three beings could work together. But with each passing story, they couldn't deny everything. It was even rumored that those three were power overloads reborn, but many demons dismissed that idea. Due to only one of them being a demon. However, the stories did reach many overlords of hell. Some were surprised to hear about them, namely the V's. Others didn't care. But there was one that couldn't stop thinking of them, Zestial, the oldest overlord of hell. Only beaten by Lucifer and Lilith. He once more read about the three, smiling. Well, they are proving themselves to be more and more like I heard. He said, smiling. The ghost just looks handsome, doesn't he, sister? He does indeed, sister. He looks up to see Carmilla's daughters and even Carmilla herself, entering the room. He noticed his longtime friend's face and knew what she was thinking. Worried about the princess? He asked. She knew she couldn't hide it from him. A little. I'm rather surprised that someone would go after the princess. Even if she doesn't even know of her true origin, it's still rather shocking to hear such a thing. She said. Agreed, both the king and queen of hell were upset. And to think she found the apple before her appointed time. Zestial smiles. I heard rumors that the queen sent one of the overlords to watch over the three, Clara said. Though, I must question her choice, Odette said, fixing her glasses. Yes, him, Zestial said, knowing what they were talking about. Zestial, you know he won't train them. Not in the way most may think. Carmilla said. Even so, unless we have the Queen's permission, we can't go see them ourselves. He said, making the two girls pout. I wanted to meet that ghost boy. Odette whines. Yeah. He's too cute. Clara agrees. Carmilla sighs before picking up the paper. She was surprised to learn that the Princess of Hell was working alongside an angel and a spirit to protect the humans. It was rather odd, but it was clear that they didn't know the true story about themselves. Or the name that they were given among the three worlds. The Trinity. Unlike what most think, this Trinity was far different than heavens. The Trinity speaks of three beings, one from each world, stating to have the powers to shape the world. Three beings that could overrule the most powerful beings in the world. And yet, these three have no idea of the tale, or seem to take any interest in it. Carmilla. She looked up, seeing everyone look at her. I'm fine. Just thinking of that tale. She said, making Zestial nods. They are powerful but are far too young. Something tells me even if they do learn the truth, it won't change anything about them. He said, smiling. Excuse me, sir, but are you saying what I think you're saying? Clara asked, surprised. I am, Zestial said, smiling. Carmilla's eyes widen once she figures it out herself. Zestial. She said, shocked. Come now, I'm not going to break the rules. I just going to chat with an old friend. He said, getting up. Carmilla sighed, knowing she couldn't talk him out of it. But also wasn't worried. Not yet, at least. Rosie's Emporium. Rosie, an overlord who is also a cannibal, was also reading about the three. She knew they were only children and had yet to discover their full potential. Still, what they were doing was in the right direction. She, too, heard about the hit on the princess, but she also knew that she was safe. My, what brave young man. She said, knowing that it was the boy that saved her. She grabbed her teacup before hearing a voice she knew. Ah, Rosie. Nice to see you. She turned and saw Alastor, her fellow overlord and friend. Alastor, how nice to see you. I thought you were on Earth. She said, standing up. I was. I came to report to the Queen, but I can tell that I don't need to now. He said before pulling out bloody raw meat. For you, my dear. He said, giving it to her. Thank you. She said, smiling. She then ate it like a savage beast, Alastor watching with a smile. Ah, fresh human meat. Always the best. She said, wiping her lips. I got it on Earth after one fool tried to shake me down for my money, Alastor smirks. Rosie then turns back to Alastor, wondering why he was visiting her. So, what brings you here? Need more advice? She asked. No, my dear. I felt that I was long overdue for a visit. You are the only overlord that I like. He said, making Rosie laugh. And many demons think we're a couple. She said. Alastor laughed as well. Far from it, my dear. Since the loss of your husband, Franklin, I know you're in no rush to find a new partner. After all, we are friends. He said. Very good friends. She agreed before she and Alastor looked at nothing. So, what do you think of the three? She asked. Young. Reckless. And a bit, shall we say, incomplete. Alastor said, smiling. Incomplete? Rosie repeated. They haven't unlocked their true forms. They are still holding on to their humanity. He said. Alastor, they are human. Rosie pointed out. I know. But that's what holding them back. Even if I don't want to see them become the Trinity of legend, unlocking their full power will be much more interesting. He said. Rosie thought about that. Though she, as well as the rest of the Overlords, has yet to meet them. However, she could tell that they were growing well into their roles. And it would be interesting to see them use their full potential at that time. Very well. She agreed, smiling. Now would you care for some tea? She asked, knowing he would be staying a while. Of course, I'm not due back on Earth for another 6 hours, Alastor said, joining her. With Lilith. Lilith panted as she looked around the destroyed room she was in. She had spent the past hour or so venting her anger after Lucifer informed her about the shooting at school and how the target was none other than Charlie. She was thankful that Daniel saved her life, and once the call ended, she went on a rampage. She was now a lot calmer and sat down in her chair, the only thing she didn't destroy. She took a breath as she recalled that Lucifer planned on rewarding the boy for his heroic act. She, too, wanted to reward him for saving Charlie. Her birthday was in a few days and Lilith was looking forward to it. The boy is proving to be more than what most humans see themselves. Even better than my ex. She said, sighing. Lilith. She turned to see that Michael had appeared, looking surprised at the damaged room. I take it Lucifer told you? He asked. He did. I just finished venting. She said, nodding. I see. He said, looking around again. Do you need something, Michael? Lilith asked. Yes. I have noticed that many demons and sinners are coming to Earth. I thought we agreed on. He started. Michael, you know I couldn't keep them in line forever. Whatever heaven thought, I can only keep them in line for so long. I have no idea how some of them are even going to Earth. Lilith said, sighing. Michael sighed. He knew Lilith was right. They really should have seen this coming. Michael, Daniel saved Charlie. You know what that means. Lilith said, making him sigh. As long as you two don't give him unlimited power, I won't tell heaven about it. He said. Lilith giggles. She knew that Daniel didn't care about power or riches. He wasn't friends with her daughter because of that. He owns them his life and is grateful for it. That also reminds her of something else she was told. Michael, we need to deal with that girl. She said, looking serious. I know. I have never thought I'd see someone so pitiful that wasn't from hell. He said, frowning. He knew very well why Sam was trying to drag Daniel away from the two. The girl can deny it all she wants, she has a crush on Daniel and hates that he spends his time with his niece and fellow angel. And she was making things worse by continuously bad-mouthing them. But until she does something horrible to our family, we must let the Earth's laws deal with her. He said, sighing. Lilith sighs. Sam Manson, she really hated that girl. Saying all those things about her daughter, just wanted her to go to Earth and teach that girl what happens when you PSS off the Queen of Hell. She took a breath. She'll have her chance on Charlie's birthday. It might be for a day, but she was going to enjoy every second with her daughter. Michael ended the call as he sighed. To think so much has happened. He tried to ignore Charlie at first, thinking she was just another demon that his brother made, but as he kept a close eye on her, he was surprised to see that she was nothing like her father. The most shocking thing was the fact that Lucifer acted like a father. He raises Charlie with love and care, much like how their father raised them. It seems that not all of Lucifer's angel status was gone. Brother. He looks up to see his brother, Raphael, standing at the door. Yes, brother? He asked. Did you speak to her? He asked. Yes. She can't keep them in line any longer. Michael said, walking up to him. So the deal is off then, Raphael said, sighing. No. We knew this would happen. Lilith might be well known in hell, but she can't keep them in hell forever. He said. Raphael sighs, seeing his point. Adam will not like this. He said. Adam can deal with it. Don't forget, he's not an elder angel or an archangel. His power has no control over us. Michael said. Michael didn't like Adam. He hated the fact that heaven gave him a seat at the angel council, something that he and his siblings disagreed with. He was nothing like the human others made him out to be. They even put a stop to his plans of killing demons and sinners each year because of how fast hell filled up. Michael made it clear that he would not bow to anyone but his father. And Adam wasn't his father. He would never have the power he thought he had. Brother, why are you so relieved to see that demon alive? Raphael asked, making Michael sighs. Raph, no matter how much we wish it. Charlie is our niece. We kicked Lucifer out of heaven. We never said he wasn't our brother anymore. And you know very well that we can't let her die. Michael said, shaking his head. But she found the apple. Raphael started. On her own. There is nothing we can do about it, and you know it. And she has shown that she's using it to help others. Just because she's our brother's daughter, does mean we need to see her that way. I know a few of our sisters are happy to see her use them to help people. Michael reminds him. Raphael sighs. He knew Michael was right, but he didn't like it. Now, come. We have things to do. And keep Adam in line. Michael said, walking down the hall. Raphael knew Michael was right. He may be the one that threw Lucifer out of heaven, but that didn't mean he didn't hold some regrets over it. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 5. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Phantom Fan 21 on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.